Hello, everyone, and welcome live to 3Y TV tonight's broadcast of the Total Nonstop Racing Shoes Lawn Care Service Cup Series from the Talladega Superspeedway. I'm Peter Short, alongside for all 150 miles that we have on hand here tonight is Garrett Gleason. And Garrett, 2.66 miles Superspeedway here tonight. It has been a while since we were at Daytona. This is race number 11 this season. We started off at the Superspeedway of Daytona with the doubleheader, but here tonight, just a single race and 150 miles between us and the checkered flag.
Peter, I think there's going to be a lot of guys in this field tonight. They're going to want to have a chance at a doubleheader, be able to do this twice, because this is the ultimate wild card. This place is big, this place is fast, and this place is wide, and you could get in a whole lot of trouble out there on the track. And I expect to see these guys keep it clean for the majority of the race, Peter, but it's Dega. The big one always looms over these guys, and when you're racing for points, stage points, and we're getting close to that chase for the championship cutoff, anything can happen. And some of these guys know this is their last chance to win a race this season.
That is correct. You want to get the win here on the Superspeedway if you have not already gone to victory lane so far this season. We do want to highlight a couple things here tonight. First off, today is, of course, September 11th, and we remember what happened 22 years ago today. It's crazy to think that it was 22 years ago. I remember where I was, and I'm sure a lot of us watching and listening in remember where we were. Of course, there's probably a couple people in the field here tonight that weren't even born back in 2001, but we lost a lot of great people that day in the U.S., and we remember them, and we'll forever remember them as we go forward. We got a couple of tribute schemes in the field here tonight. I think we got several. We'll highlight them, DJ Weeks being one of those. I think Johnny Eckert as well, also running one of those schemes. But we also have here tonight a sports theme night in the Total Nonstop Racing League. We got a couple of drivers out there with, well, we expected to see, NHL teams and NFL teams and those types of things. But Garrett, we got a hodgepodge of sports out there. We got NWO. I don't even think NWO still exists anymore, but we got Johnny Williams sporting that. We'd got some Ultimate Disc League cars out there. We got some I think some baseball teams that are like single A, double A teams. We got, AHL teams. It's kind of mind-boggling. We said we'd open it up, but I got to say, that makes it fun for us. We're learning new teams. I think we got Beloit. What are they? The Beloit fish carp? Sky carp. I mean, Beloit sky carp. What the heck is a sky carp?
Peter, they all seem made up, and especially Bill Edwards, because there's no way he even owns a TV at his age. I mean, I don't believe it. It's a nice-looking car, but it's like the Hugger Oranges machines that we've seen run throughout the season. Not a real thing, and I'm going to stick to that. But, Peter, talking about all these new teams and watching that atrocious performance by the Giants last night, I may be in the market for a new team, so I'm going to keep an eye on these guys out here on the track and see who finishes the best. And maybe I'll take up a new sport, that disc league or something, or maybe a sky carp if they actually do exist.
Yeah, I'm having to kind of do some research on these sky carps. They are a minor league baseball team of the Midwest League, and they are a high A affiliate of the Miami Marlins in the middle of Wisconsin. Baseball, man. Baseball's crazy. But we got other drivers out there, and we'll be highlighting those paint schemes, those sports paint schemes here tonight as Jason Schue. Well, I think Jason Schue got the NASCAR memo, because there's nothing more NASCAR than a kind of Dale Earnhardt-inspired Kevin Harvick throwback there on the number 3 machine. So Jason working his way up onto the racetrack here for tonight's Talladega 150 here in the Total Nonstop Racing Shoes Lawn Care Cup Service. Going to try and get his lap time in. There's Johnny Eckert in the number 90, one of our 9/11 tribute machines right there. Got the 9/11 Memorial Museum. I'll tell you what, Garrett, I've never been up there to the northeast portion of the United States, but once. I went to Washington, D.C. once, but that is one of the things on my bucket list to go to, is that 9/11 Memorial Museum. Sometimes you have to be humbled in life, and you have to realize kind of what your particular places, and I think that is something fully worth going to. If you have never been to a Holocaust museum, or you've never been to like the 9/11 Memorial Museum, like I said, sometimes you just have to be humbled in life. As Eckert out there on the racetrack right now, here's Matthew Rodriguez with the Sterling Marlin throwback. Although I'm not sure if that's a Sterling Marlin throwback. I'm sure he'd say it is. I guess it was Sterling ran that Intrepid back in the day. But I was going to say David Stremme ran that, I think, once or twice. Same thing with Jamie McMurray. Could be a Jamie McMurray throwback. I think McMurray ran it to that win at Charlotte in an Intrepid, if memory serves me correctly. Brandon Buchwald, here's another one, Garrett, that caught us off guard. This is the Dallas Legion. I had to look this one up. I live in Dallas. Kinda. And I didn't even know this was a thing, but this is, I think, the American Ultimate Disc League, AULD. And go look them up. There's AULD teams across the nation, and cool to see Brandon Buchwald with that on his car. The Canadian driver right there, working his way through turn number 1 and 2 is Jason Schue, first driver to get a 51.85 on the board, currently on the pole for quite some bit. We'll see if that holds up as Jamar Dumas out there in the number 28.
Peter, there's a couple things I want to touch on here. We have some familiar yet distant this season faces returning for tonight. Jason Freeman is here. I believe I saw Jason Gracia sneak into the field. That guy's been missing in action for months. So if he's really here and Matthew Rodriguez is in this field, there are some guys that are absolutely insane and talented at the same time at these restrictor plate races. And it's going to be a heck of a show out there. And if Gracias is actually running, he will start in the back and he will be near the lead by like lap 2. And we will comment on it. I'm just going to spoil that for everybody, but right now it's about the qualifying. It's a single car lap. The only time you'll be by yourself unless you lose the draft tonight. And these guys are trying to get that engine wound up on their first lap and right down to that yellow line in their second. We'll see what these guys have. Good lap from the 90 and Johnny Eckert.
And there is, one of the more typical, at least sports schemes that we would have expected to see. That is Philip Scott with his Detroit Lions machine. Of course, Detroit knocking off Kansas City on Thursday night, and it was a good, enjoyable game to watch.
Wait, this week counted for that Giants game wasn't practice?
That I'll just say that the Giants have decided to give themselves a handicap, Garrett, to start the season, and I do think that a lot of the drivers in this field here tonight are more talented than the Giants' offensive line, at least from what I saw last night.
Yeah, if anybody wants to put in an application to replace Mark Lewinsky or Evan Neal on the right side of the Giants' offensive line, I think Johnny has like 40 grandchildren. We could probably just stack them on top of each other, and maybe they'd be able to pick up a stunt. But we're neither here nor there. We're here back at Talladega, looking forward to a good race, maybe put myself out of my misery so I don't cry myself to sleep tonight.
Well, it might be a good time to mention Talkin' Giants are one of our series sponsors this year, a New York Giants podcast. I'm sure they'll have a few things to say after that game last night. And, of course, the Jets, well, I would say the Jets are across town, but they're not really since they play in the same stadium. But the Jets, of course, playing tonight with Aaron Rodgers' debut of being a Jet. I'll tell you what, Green Bay Packers looked a lot better without Aaron Rodgers. They looked pretty good with Love getting a pretty dominant win. As Matt Moyer, he's got the Houston Astros on the hood. I myself am a Rangers fan and not too happy with those Astros here as they've been clawing their way up the leaderboard in the AL and making my Rangers look bad here over the past couple of weeks. But that's going to do it for qualifying. It is an all-Canadian front row with Brandon Buchwald and Mike Floppy Tellier taking the front 2 spots. Garrett, that is a great run for both of those drivers. They were strong back to start off the season at Talladega Superspeedway. Now looking to do, at Daytona Superspeedway, trying to do it now here at Talladega tonight.
Yeah, great effort by those two guys, and I guess you're letting me start off the the field here. Brandon Buchwald in the 96 will start on pole. Mike Tellier on the outside pole in the 47. Johnny Eckert will roll off third in the number 90 with Bill Edwards to his outside in the number 5. Robert Kenny, good 5th place starting position in the 34 with Jonathan Gaston to his outside in the 72. Jamar Dumas will roll off 7th in the number 28 with Matt Muir in the 77, which is definitely, even though I don't like the Astros, Peter, it's a very good-looking hot rod. Bronson Stafford, always a threat to win at these type of races, will roll off 9th. And our good friend, Jason Freeman, will round out our top 10 starting positions. Peter, I should do the rest of the first thing. It's been a while. Philip Scott will roll off 11th in the 99, and Mr. Excitement, as far as Superspeedways go, Matthew Rodriguez will be our 12th place starter.
And then look a little bit further back, a big field here tonight. Jason Schue and Johnny Williams making up row number 7, the last of the qualifiers here tonight. Chuck Sweeting, who got the win at Rockingham Superspeedway last time out. I actually raced in that race. That's why we weren't here live, and I caused a caution. Garrett, I think you had a similar thing back when you raced at Iowa. So we were caution causers up here. Jake Bustos rolling off from 16th on the outside of row number 8. DJ Weeks, Jason Gracias on row number 9. Keep your eye out on both of those drivers. Ryan Potter and Ty Smith rounding out our top 20 starters here tonight. Bob Giaquinto and Sean Billman in 21st and 22nd. Robert Tripp and Tom Bourne 23rd and 24th. And then that will do it. 24 cars here tonight as they start to get rolling. Some of the cars just a little bit slow to get away. But, Garrett, let's see if we can bring up tonight's race information and, of course, bring up the Talladega Superspeedway factoid for everyone at home. Current track conditions, it's quite nice in Talladega. It's actually quite nice here in Texas finally here today. 71 degrees ambient temperature, 53% relative humidity. That's not percent chance of rain yet. We might get rain in iRacing at some point soon. Who knows? But Talladega is the longest oval in NASCAR. For those people who didn't already know that fact, it's pretty common knowledge if you're a NASCAR fan. But this racetrack is one of the best and been home to many, many fantastic races over the many years that NASCAR has come to this particular racetrack. I think it used to be an air base back in World War II. In fact, you can see from the blimp cam. Let's see if we can bring that blimp cam. There you go. You can actually see the remnants of the runways there off towards turn number 1 and 2 where they used to cross one another. But this spot eventually turned into a racetrack, and with the war over and the decommissioning of the track, or the air base, they decided to go racing here, and we're glad they did.
Peter, I did not know that. I've done a bunch of Talladega broadcasts with you, and I think that's the first time you've brought that up, so that's pretty neat and kind of fitting on 9/11. We lost many people that served even after, obviously, that with the wars and stuff. So kind of a good way to tie it all together, Peter. And speaking of 9/11 tributes, I'm picking Jake Bustos to win tonight's race in that 74 9/11 memorial scheme, Peter. So I am rooting for Jake tonight. Let's have at it, boys.
Pace car heads down onto pit road. We'll get set to go racing. 55 laps here tonight. They will go by in a hurry if we stay green flag. But of course, the big one always looms here at Talladega Superspeedway. Pace car down on pit road. Green flag in the flagman's hand. And we're racing here at Dega.
These guys, it's going to take them a little bit of time to get up to speed here, Peter. But this time on the broadcast to mention that these cars do not push each other as well as some of the other cars on the simulator. So these guys are going to have to be careful. You don't want to hit somebody and take them out, especially this early in the race. I think push maybe at the end, maybe when it's urgent. But right now I expect these guys to just get the run, and if they might change lanes to do something with it, but I don't expect them to be running into each other. And that's where I'd be, right where Mike is, up on that high line, because that high line is so much fun here, Peter.
Yeah, you saw there on the back of Johnny Eckert's number 90, he even has a no bumping statement on his rear bumper. It's a bumper. You're supposed to bump it. But I'll tell you what, if you bump these things, just a slight tap, they're spinning around. That's exactly what I did to this driver right here in the middle. The Canadian number 61, Bronson Stafford. I gave him just a little nudge at Rockingham Speedway. That's what spun him around, brought out the caution. But he almost had a shot at winning that race, even though he did get spun around by me. So, I don't know. Maybe it worked out to his favor that I spun him around. Who knows? He's going to jump up to the high side in front of the number 5 of Bill Edwards, who has that Beloit Sky Car. baseball scheme. And of course, right there in the middle of the racetrack, that's the number 1, Jason Gracias, with the Tide Ride. Ricky Craven throwback, the Pontiac Grand Prix right there in the middle, 3 wide for the race lead as we work our way through turn number 3 and 4 on lap number 2. It has been a frantic start to the race. Already the back half of the field starting to drop back a little bit. They see this 3 wide action. They want to get out of it, as Bill Edwards there might have thought about 4 wide. Bronson Stafford going to come around to lead lap number 2.
Peter, I believe I mentioned before qualifying that if Jason Gracia started at the back by lap 2, he'd be battling for the lead, and he must be listening. He's trying to make me feel better after what I suffered through last night, and that number 1 is definitely somebody that is here to win. He is not racing for points this season. He is able to make this race, and I expect him to leave it all out there and either checkers or wreckers in that number 1 Tide machine. Very unfamiliar paint scheme for Gracias. I don't know if he was without a scheme here before the race, and he just went with that. I'm sure there's some sort of reason for it, but the high line looking good so far. Not much help on the bottom there for Gracias.
Yeah, not a lot of help. That high line, like you said there, G, definitely looking mighty strong. Looking a little bit further back in the pack, here is Philip Scott. He started 11th. He's still running in 11th. Biggest mover of the race so far is now Ryan Potter in the number 98 machine. Ryan has gone from 19th up to 3rd in a hurry, and now going to be looking for the race lead with a little bit of help from behind. That is Ty Smith in the number 81 machine, locked up with the all-white. Not going to say that's a throwback scheme, but almost reminds me of the scheme that used to be run back in the day by Tony Raines in the number 74 scheme for quite some time. We'll go on board here with Ty Smith. Got GeoGuessr. If you guys have never played GeoGuessr, it's a game online. It's a great game. It uses Google Earth to plop you down somewhere in the world, and then you have to guess where you are. It's a lot of fun. It is kind of pay to play, unfortunately. There was a period there where it wasn't. I think there's still kind of a free version out there, but GeoGuessr is a lot of fun, and the number 98 of Ryan Potter has that on his rear end here tonight. And then the Swamp Thing right back behind him, Ty Smith, as it seems like the field kind of getting pulled back together, Garrett. I was a bit concerned that the field kind of broke apart, and maybe we'd have a couple of drivers starting to lay back and wait for the big one to happen, but the field is relatively strung together all the way back to currently Robert Tripp in the number 35 machine. Tom Bourne in the number 16 did not start, which is a bummer. I think Tom had a special scheme here tonight, if I recall correctly, New York Rangers hockey scheme, and not out there on the racetrack, so not sure what's happened to him, but we ride on board with currently 23rd placed Robert Tripp, the last car still out there on the racetrack, so he has some connection troubles. So we'll jump back up to the front where there's still a side-by-side battle for the lead between Bronson Stafford and Ryan Potter. But now, Garrett, 2 strong grooves forming right up there by the wall and right down there on the bottom.
Yeah, you love to see this, Peter, and they're giving each other room. Nobody's pinching. They're just, hey, we're going to see whose groove is better here. And a couple things I wanted to mention. I'm keeping my eye on the 51 and the 1 being somewhat near each other. They could link up, and they're the ones that are going to make the first move, as it looks like Gracias is already trying to get through the middle again, see if he can get back to the lead by himself, essentially. But we do have a 3rd lane forming. And, Peter, I wanted to mention somebody like Chuck Sweeting, running in 18th, just taking it easy. Jake Bustos, his teammate back there in the 90, Johnny Eckert, they are just back there riding. We've seen this at every restrictor plate race. They just want to be there at the end. They know these guys might get crazy. They're pretty secure on points. That's the way to do it. Because somebody like we said, somebody like Gracias here has nothing to lose. So why get caught up in it if somebody turns them?
Yeah, of course you don't want to be involved in the wreck. Tellier in the wall. Tellier in the wall in the Tim Hortons machine. Just scrubbed off a bunch of speed. Looks like I think Brandon Buchwald just went underneath him to try and avoid that, but that broke up that back half of the top groove. Everyone back there now ducking down to the inside line. So Tellier having a little bit of a problem, but you don't want to be involved in the accident, regardless of whether or not you're just out there having fun or not, or whether you're running for the points. But it hurts a little bit less if you don't have anything on the line. I know I'm one of those drivers, Garrett, to, if you race the whole race, you get to lap number 54 and you get wrecked on the final lap. To me, it's like, man, did I just waste my whole night? There are times when I like, you know what? If I get wrecked in the first 3 laps, at least it was within the first 3 laps. I get the rest of my night to go have dinner or go have fun or do something else. But for some of these drivers, they're just out there having some fun and logging some laps here at Talladega. It's not a big surprise that we have a big field here. Talladega, Daytona always tend to draw big crowds. As the 06 machine, holy smokes, that is Sean Billman in the Cyberpunk 2077 machine who got himself out front. Potentially with a little bit of a push from the 98 of Potter, but we're now 3x3 for the race lead as the front 2 grooves have stacked up 3 abreast. The 06 on the inside got Ty Smith there in the middle, Bronson Stafford on the high line as Bronson gets a big push from the number 5 of Bill Edwards down the backstretch. That will, at least for right now, give the high line advantage as they head off towards turn number 3, but the inside grooves are starting to fight back again. Almost 10 laps in here now at Talladega. We'll come around to complete lap number 9. We have been green flag all the way since the drop of the green here at the top of the show. I want to thank you for joining us here on 3Y TV. Great action here at Talladega as the field continues to shuffle up and down through the field. That's one of the great things about this racetrack is kind of the conveyor belt that goes up and down all night long. But we're just checking out the chat. We got the Windsors saying the sky carp doesn't migrate, and it is a very strong goose. The more you know, the more you know. I did not know. Nicholas Marple also saying good luck to Gaston. Well, let's see if we can go find out where Jonathan's at, currently running in the 13th position. Let's ride on board with the number 72 as he is looking at Matthew Rodriguez. And Garrett, we know Matthew Rodriguez is always aggressive here on these super speedways. Well, we might have lost Garrett Gleason. Where you at, G?
Oh, I'm back. I think I'm okay.
You disappeared like the the Giants' offensive line.
I was trying to say something before, and I'm like, why is Peter talking like over me as I'm talking? I said, this can't be good TV. And I wasn't realizing my mic wasn't working, but I was trying to say how great it was for the 3-wide racing, and now you just threw back to me about Matthew Rodriguez here being aggressive. But yeah, aggressive is just the understatement. I love watching Matthew work at these super speedway races because he will find the groove that nobody wants to run, and he will run it better than anybody else. And some of the runs that he has, and you don't expect to see him at, like, he'll be 20th on the last lap, and you're like, oh, I don't expect him to be near the front, and he will find a way to get there. And there's some tremendous plate racers, and 2 of the ones I'm most familiar with, they're in that middle groove, Floppy and Gracias, just guys that have just done it for 20 years now at this point. But it's going to be tough with 2 cars against that strong top lane. Those guys on the top seem to be stuck together pretty good, but the experience in the center, Peter, looks like it might prevail.
And here comes Chuck Sweeting to join in behind Mike and Gracias. So another experienced driver joining that middle groove. There's still plenty of laps to go. Garrett, I'm kind of curious to know how long we think they can go on fuel before they have to come and make their first pit stop here tonight. We also do have a rolling stage, just checking on what lap that occurs on.
The end of 15 and the end of 30, Peter, and I expect these guys, I'm guessing it's going to be one stop strategy because they got a 75% fuel load. Does that sound about right to you?
No, I think that's going to be a 2-stopper.
Okay, well, you're the math guy, Peter. I'm just here for my good looks and kind of because I forced you to hire me. But.
Yeah, I think that will put them on pit road around lap number 24. If they're lucky, they might be able to go 2 or 1 stop, but I think we'll see them around lap number 24, 25. I think it's going to be a stretch to see them make it all the way to lap number 27 or 28, which is where they need to get to make it on only 1 stop, but only time will tell. So we will be giving out stage points at the end of the next lap. Not this lap, but the end of next lap. It might be a little bit difficult to tell who's going to win the stage points Garrett, just because of the fact that positions are changing here oh so rapidly, as the number 81 now trying to push himself up to the front, and that's Ty Smith with a little bit of help from Sean Billman in the 06, tucked up right underneath his rear spoiler. They come out of turn number 4 once again. Gracia still in the middle. Bronson Stafford still in the high line. Bill Edwards right behind him in the Goose Machine. The Sky Carp, number 5. Our pole sitter, Brandon Bookwald, now starting to move back up towards the front in the number 96 as well. There's Sean Weir on the outside, the number 77. The Houston Astros scheme. Gotta say, I love these. I love seeing just a little bit different aspect of these drivers with the sports team that they decided to put on the hood. I'm not surprised that no one decided to put Giants on the hood. We would say that Vinny probably would have Giants in the field. Vinny under the weather here tonight. Vinny, if you're watching, I hope you're feeling well, bud. I hope you get better. He said he had a fever. We probably have Talking Giants on the hood. In fact, Vinny was the whole reason we did the whole sports event. After a couple of races ago, we were talking about it and said, you know what, that'd be kind of fun to get the sports schemes, as we'll be giving out points this lap. It looks like Bronson Stafford's got it, but at the line, that one was close to call, Garrett. I think Bronson Stafford just had a little bit of a nose out in front of Gracias and Ty Smith, but I don't know. That one's extremely hard to call.
Yeah, that's a good thing. That's Mike's job to go through that after the race and tell me who gets the points. But it looks like Peter, we're going to take another look at this, and I just want to let everybody know the cart has come out for Aaron Rodgers. His Jets career could be over as we speak, Peter.
My oh my, not watching the game, but let's see if we can get one more look at this. And it was Bronson Stafford, Jason Gracias, and the number 81 of Ty Smith. 1, 2, 3 across the line. That was a fantastic finish to stage number 1. And here we go towards stage number 2. And things looking a little bit less frantic. These drivers know there's no points on the line for another 15 or so laps. They drop back to 2x2. And I'm going to be all surprised that some of these drivers maybe drop back a little bit before making that charge. We expect to see them on pit road. Oh, one of the cars up in the wall. That, I think, is the number 98 of Ryan Potter. It is. Not sure what happened there, but Garrett, I'm not sure if maybe it's starting to get tight or something, but that car is still not looking right. He's still up against the wall.
Yeah, that was an odd-looking incident there for the 98. Just something got away from him, maybe overcorrected the steering, but a lot of right-side damage in that 98. And that's going to hurt you here at a place like Talladega. You're just going to have to tuck in. Hopefully somebody that you trust or like will kind of keep you up in the fold. But so far, so good. 98 not losing too much speed. And it's a tough place, Talladega. You can't lose that draft. You got to keep yourself up in that pack. I've not lost. I mean, Peter, I wasn't going to win the race, let's be honest. But I've lost the draft many a time at Talladega by trying to be too conservative, play it safe, and something like that happened, and you just can't make up for it. But looks like Rodriguez is dropping back. A rare conservative approach for the wild, one of the more wild guys out there.
Whoa, almost getting into it with Matt Weir there. Weir coming down the racetrack. Not sure if he was aware that Rodriguez was all the way down below that yellow line, but Rodriguez, I think, had to back out because there was a little bit of baby bumping happening in front of him, and he said, you know, I don't want to have anything of this. So he drops back, and we'll see whether or not he makes another charge towards lap number 30 as we're working through lap number 19 right now. Still green flag. We've been green flag since the drop of the green to start tonight's race. Jason Gracias, they're going up to the top side of the racetrack, trying to get a run to the outside of Brandon Bookwald, and hoping that his drafting partner Mike Floppy Tellier will go with him. Mike is a little bit indecisive as Matthew Rodriguez in the wall with a big swing out of the draft. Not sure if that was a little bit of a bump gone wrong or whether or not Rodriguez just got a little bit overzealous with that move. Doesn't look like any damage on the number 51, at least for right now. But, wow, things really happening here at Talladega in a hurry.
Yeah, some weird-looking movements out of these guys' cars, and I don't know, Peter. There might be more of a handling characteristic than we're used to at Talladega, or I don't know. Maybe the air is hitting these guys wrong, or I put on hurricane winds. Who knows? But wow, Gracias, that was an aggressive move to the high side there. I love seeing these guys that get a run, not let off or hit the brakes. And I like when they try to do something with it, and that's what you like to see, because Gracias, he's been trying that middle lane, tried the bottom for a little while. Now he's up top with somebody he's used to having push him, and I think this is going to be a winning combination if they could get a little more help up there.
Yeah, at least for right now, just those two working together as the field continues to shuffle. Let's see if we can highlight some of these drivers a little bit further back in the pack. Jason Freeman, Garrett, you highlighted his return to Total Nonstop Racing here tonight. There's Bob Giaquinto. Haven't talked about him. He's sporting a hockey team. I think that's the Trenton Titans, if I can read that correctly. Yes, that is. Of course, Bob Giaquinto used to be up here in the booth. You can find him on Wednesday nights at Tabletop Trio there on Twitch. Go check them out. I drop into Tabletop Trio every once in a while and listen to what they have to say on various topics, whether it's gaming or food or someone's cooking or they're just spitballing. Always a good listen there on Twitch, so go check them out.
How's his new bathroom, Peter? Has he tried it out yet, live on air? I've been curious.
I have not seen the new bathroom live on air. I think that that might be on this week's episode, so you make sure to tune in to see Bob's new bathroom. I think we're all waiting in extreme anticipation of this newly renovated bathroom. That's for certain. Probably no one more than Bob, as Bob wants to use the new bathroom. That has been the talking point for the last couple of weeks on Tabletop Trio.
Busy laughing, Peter. I'm busy laughing because you did a great job with that. I just tried to throw you off a little bit, and you just flawless as usual.
I heard it's a really nice bathroom. I heard it's a really nice porcelain throne, really nice tap handles, sink bowl, and everything. I heard it's very, very nice. We're very much looking forward to it. Hopefully, Bob can welcome us to his home for a test out sometime soon.
I got nothing at all. Those 3Y TV residuals must be adding up if he's able to afford such a nice bathroom. Is all I'm saying. Yeah,
I think we're gonna have a really nice Sky Carp on his new porcelain throne. But speaking of Sky Carps, the number 5 right there, Bill Edwards, has moved up into second. The Beloit machine right there. If anyone's wondering, Beloit's in Wisconsin, and very much very Wisconsin name is Beloit, and. Not sure exactly what Bill's affiliation with the Beloit Sky Carp is, but he's looking pretty good right now in second, following the number 61 at Bronson Stafford, Brandon Buchwald in the Dallas Legion. I think it's the American Ultimate Disc League. Is that what AULP stands for? AUDL? Yes, AUDL, the American Ultimate Disc League. I had it right. It's just I'm not used to these things. I like them. I like the different type of sports that we're seeing here tonight.
Different sports, Peter, and great racing. These guys, no matter what they have on their car, they're racing with respect. We have good green flag runs, side-by-side battles. This is what it's all about. And if you're watching this on YouTube, I don't care if it's years from now. This is hopefully we're still in business, but Total Nonstop Racing, come join us and be a part of this. And here's our friend Johnny Williams. Looks like an unscheduled pit stop with a lot of damage there. Let's see what happened. Let's see, maybe his grandson hit him with the steel chair again, Peter, to go back to the NWO Wolfpack versus the original.
Yeah, I'm just trying to find out where this damage might have come from. It definitely didn't come too recently. But speaking of Johnny Williams's grandkids, he said that he's got 13 of them, and he thinks that they could beat the New York Giants. I'm not shocked at that statement. I agree with Johnny. I think they very well could, but I'm just kind of going back maybe a little bit further than I should have, and I'm not seeing exactly where that damage came from. So it's definitely been there for several laps now, but Johnny now leaving pit road. But I think that is going to kind of open pit road. I was expecting him to come down around lap number 25. We're on lap number 26 right now. We're getting close to that window, Garrett, where we think they could make it on just one stop. They have to make it to lap number 28 to split the race in half. So if they can get to pretty much the completion of lap number 28, that kind of tells us it's a single stop race. But will we see any takers on pit road this time?
Usually we see these guys getting to the bottom of the racetrack and not racing side by side when pit stops are happening, and I think we have our answer.
Yeah, I think we very, very well have our answer. So we think we're close, but maybe, just maybe, these drivers can make it about 2 more laps, and then that will tell us they can make it all the way on just a single pit stop. And it might even get into the window where you can at least save enough fuel to make it to the end of the race on only a single stop. Johnny, being the only driver so far tonight to come down onto pit road, had a long stop as well, trying to fix some of that damage. He fell 1 lap down in the number 10 machine. And of course, he's going to lose the draft as well, which is not going to help at all. Meanwhile, it has been pretty stable up at the front for Bronson Stafford, as we do have the number 1 machine of Jason Gracias peeling off onto pit road. So just a little bit shy. Oh, whoa, oh, that's hot, that's really hot. As Freeman's having problems, and the 06 is going around. All types of chaos here on the grass here on the Schue's Lawn Care Cup Service or Series. Schue's Lawn Care Service Cup Series, hard to say, but we had more than 1 people doing the lawn care there.
Yeah, Johnny had time with the damage he had to do his usual lawn care, but these guys are all taking turns. Let's take a look at this replay.
Yeah,
as I was holding in a yawn, Peter, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I could tell. You must be sleepy. If those Giants didn't make you sleepy last night, well, I'm hoping the racing's not making you sleepy. As you see, Jason Gracias locked him up. The 06 machine back behind. Also, if Sean Billman locked him up, gets into the number 81, which is a big shame for Ty Smith, who's been having such a great race. I'm not sure if he's got a penalty or not. Not sure if maybe the administrators can clear that or not. Jason Freeman also getting on pit road really hot. Look at him. He got into the back of Sean Billman as well. So it goes from bad to worse for the 06 machine as he goes off the racetrack as well. Looks like Jason Schue. Out of that whole group, I think only Jason Schue kind of made it in to pit road A-OK. As out there on the racetrack, we still have pretty much the whole pack. Looks like Billman here about to go a lap down. Looks like Jason Schue might have gone a lap down. Not a whole lot of damage on the 06 machine. That's the good news if you're a Sean Billman fan. It seems like he's able to get away without a whole lot of damage. But pit road penalties for Ty Smith and Jason Freeman here in that round of pit stops. You see your race leaders now starting to catch up to some of the tail end traffic. We got another round of pit stops. This time maybe looking a little bit smoother. As we got 4 takers on pit road: Jonathan Gaston, Jamar Dumas, Bob Giaquinto, and Robert Tripp coming down. Just getting into that window where they can make it on just no more stops. So we think they can go the rest of the way from here tonight. So Garrett, you were right. Just 1 stop here if things stay in green flag. But hey, I gotta say, Garrett, we're handing out points at the end of this lap.
I was thinking the same thing, Peter. Are these guys going to take a risk and stretch this 1 more lap? Because we're clearly in the fuel window, and I think it's going to benefit some of these guys if they're able to have a smooth stop, get back out there and draft together. But a lot of those guys will penalties and incidents. But these guys are staying on track, Peter. These stage points mean something to these drivers, and Bronson Stafford looks like he's in good position with Bill Edwards close behind him, and they're going to maybe pass these 2 guys. They're going to put them a lap down for now and maybe make their pit stops this lap here. Let's keep an eye on this field and see if these guys can get in line, get to the bottom of the racetrack, and make their pit stops.
Now, I haven't seen a lot of green flag races here on super speedways, but when you get the field kind of split up like this and you get green flag pit stops, it really can lead to a green flag super speedway race. They are rare, but they do happen in the iRacing.com Motorsports Simulator. So we continue to say green flag. You saw Bob Giaquinto fall 1 lap down. Just looking at pit road speeding penalties for some of these drivers is, looks like our leaders are coming down this time. The number 61 coming to his pit stall. A couple of people, that's Matt Weir having problems getting woed up. The 61 having problems getting woed up. Good job by Bill Edwards. Don't think he slid the tires. Looks like we also got Matthew Rodriguez on pit road, so just a small group of 4. Mike Floppy Tellier continues to stay out there on the racetrack, lapping now as our race leader. Brandon Bookwald, Chuck Sweeting, Robert Kenny, and Philip Scott, the current top 5. Jamar Dumas, they're in the mix. He's already pitted, as well as Jonathan Gaston in the number 72. So those are the first 2 cars currently 1 lap down. But I think this is really going to give an advantage to these drivers who are able to stretch the fuel maybe just a little bit further because they're in a good pack. The more cars you have in the pack, usually the better numbers, especially with this Gen 4 car. The More cars you have, usually the better it is. As looks like we got more takers on pit road. Philip Scott going way down to the bottom side of the racetrack. You see some smoke being thrown up in front of him as, ooh, not sure who that was. I think that might have been Robert Kenny in the number 34. Yes, it is, the drumstick machine. Getting woed up finally. Hopefully no pit road speeding penalty, but I was just kind of looking at the pit road speeding penalty report. Ty Smith, Ty Smith, Jason Freeman, we know they got penalties. Tough break for Jason. He had actually quite a bit of repair as well. He's currently lapping behind Johnny Williams, a couple of laps down. But so far that looks to be the only real penalties is Ty Smith and Jason Freeman. So these drivers doing an okay job of getting onto pit road. We'll see if this group, led by Brandon Buchwald, which should complete the cycle. Oh, Buchwald's going around at the end of pit road, and that's going to be a problem. Logjam right there. Great job by the number 90 of Johnny Eckert. Fantastic job by Johnny Eckert to get himself away from that mess in front of him. Let's see if we can go get a 3-wide TV replay on board with the driver sporting the September 11th memorial scheme. Here we go, on to pit road. There's number 75, Chuck Sweeting on the left. He's trying to get it woed up. Good job getting it woed up. And then has to go whoop right around Buchwald. We'll see whether or not Buchwald gets a penalty for that. He did go off into the grass, and they are down and away as Jake Bustos and Johnny Eckert escape from pit road. Buchwald still in his pit box, and Chuck Sweeting still in his pit box. DJ Weeks still in his pit box. Garrett just saying that these drivers are doing a great job of getting to pit road, but seems like this group, Buchwald, Sweeting, and DJ Weeks, all bit by pit road speeding penalties.
Wow, some of these guys, Peter, they're veteran drivers, guys. I don't expect to make that mistake, especially on the money stop, the only money stop, but still, Peter, that's a heartbreaker. And I was just thinking that, looking through this rundown of the guys in the field, like, if you're alive right now, you're in the lead pack, you're on the lead lap, like, you can win this thing. And I mean, obviously there's some guys that need a caution, they could end up winning this thing as well, but right now, if you're in that lead group, you're feeling pretty darn good about yourself. You did what you needed to do to give yourself a chance at winning this thing. And now you're just hoping that there is no yellow and you could sort this out amongst yourself. You're in that front six right now. You're hoping the guys from 7th to whatever it is, the 15th or whatever, don't get in a group, and 7th to 12th get in a group and catch you. But that's part of it, Peter. These guys are going to hope to stretch the gap out, and these other guys are going to try to chase them down, and you're communicating on your headset. You're telling these guys, okay, I'm faster out front, push me, do this, do that, and we're going to have to keep an eye on the scoring pile. But right now, top 6, that's more than likely where our winner is going to come from if this thing stays green, unless this 7th on back can catch up.
Yeah, we'll be keeping our eyes on that second group of drivers, but at least for right now, this front pack of really 5, as I think Philip Scott, when he got past, just could not latch onto this train here. As you see our leaders getting around the number 34 machine. We saw the issues that Robert Kenny had, threw up some smoke. Bustic got caught with the pit road speeding penalty. We saw Brandon Buchwald with his troubles. He definitely got nabbed by the speeding police. Also went for a half spin. He will fall one lap down. It's a tough break for our pole sitter here tonight. Of course, if a caution flag comes out, could change pretty much everything. We still have a lot to play for. But let's look at the kind of the current track map, Garrett. Bottom right-hand corner of your screen there. You see how broken up this field is. Your group of race leaders are just now coming to the start-finish line, which is demarcated by that red line. You see them going across the line right now. The second group of drivers, led by the number 72 of Jonathan Gaston, they're a little bit further back. But then back behind that group, it's a ways. You got Jason Schue down in 13th. Then Sean Billman, who is, believe it or not, with Jason Schue. But then back behind him, you have 22 seconds to Jake Bustos. And I don't know what exactly happened to Bustos, whether or not he got nabbed by the speeding police or what, but Bustos finds himself down in 15th position, all by his lonesome. Robert Tripp is back with Chuck Sweeting, still in the lead lap. That's the good news. The good news for Tripp and Sweeting is they are 2 cars still working together. 2 cars is better than just 1 car. So they should be able to run down Bustos to make it 3 cars, which is better than 2 cars, believe it or not. That's how the math usually goes. But they are being caught by this gaggle, which is our race leaders, as it does seem like Philip Scott has been able to latch on to this lead draft. So you're right, Garrett, top 6, but they are in and amongst a whole bunch of lappers as well, which will make things a little bit more interesting.
Peter, I've been right 3 times tonight about Gracias, about the pit stops, and about the top 6. You know what? Good night. Have a good rest of your broadcast. Good luck, everybody. I'll see you next week.
All right, maybe the Giants will win next week.
Well, we're playing the Cardinals and Josh Dobbs, so if we don't win, I will not be on air on Monday. I will be seeking therapeutic help.
So the interesting thing about Josh Dobbs as a quarterback, and of course we're talking a lot about NFL since it is sports night here in TNR. Josh Dobbs went to the University of Tennessee, got an aerospace engineering degree, which is the degree I got. I had an aerospace engineering degree, not at University of Tennessee, the other UT, the University of Texas, where I went. But I knew people through my work who actually had classes with Josh Dobbs. Said he was a very nice guy, very down to earth, participated in class, very, very smart. I kind of have to root for Josh Dobbs. I've heard he's a really nice person from people who've actually met him and took classes with him at the University of Tennessee. So, as an aerospace engineer by degree, I have to say I got to root for Josh Dobbs. So, Garrett, I'm rooting for the Cardinals next week.
I'm shocked. I'm absolutely shocked.
But I'm also a Cowboys fan, so
right.
it's easy to root against the Giants.
Let's stop this NFL talk. Let's talk about the Longhorns taking down Alabama. I think a little gloat is in order. So, if you'd like the gloat, by all means, that was an awesome performance by Sark and the boys.
Yeah, I have learned for the last 16, 17 years to not get my hopes up about the Longhorns. And I still don't have my hopes up. For me, all I know is Alabama could be god-awful this year. But for the sake of it, yeah, we beat Alabama. That's pretty cool. First time I think Saban's been beaten by more than double digits at home in 20 years. I mean, that means something, right? I mean, it doesn't mean a whole lot, but it means something, I guess, to statisticians. So, it was a good win, I have to say. Quinn Ewers, the Ohio State transfer that we got a couple of years ago, played a decent game. He actually threw the ball more than 10 yards. And got some long touchdowns. I think it was the first time he'd ever thrown a touchdown of more than 40 yards in a game, and he did it twice. So if we could see more of that, that'd be great. I'd appreciate it, but kind of don't expect it. I don't get my hopes up with them Longhorns anymore.
Well, hey, still a heck of a win, and that's what one of these guys is going to have it tonight, Peter. A heck of a win. Doesn't matter how often you've done it. What you felt before the race, what you feel after the race, it's all about getting that win. And some of these guys are in a lot better position than others. And I'm just, Matthew Rodriguez up in that lead group, Floppy, guys that work together. Philip Scott's, that's aggressive. And Bronson Stafford, a guy that's won Daytona twice this season. Unless I'm thinking of somebody else, Peter, but I'm pretty sure it was him. But and Bill's got a win for that made-up sponsor of his. The Sky Chickens or whatever he's talking about.
Sky Carp. It's a flying fish that's actually a goose.
It's what? It's a goose, and that used to be Matthew Rodriguez's sponsor on the 51, and maybe Bill's been drinking too many Coors Lights, and now he's making carp up. I don't know, Peter. These guys, we need a list next year of acceptable sports teams and ones that actually exist, because
only NFL teams, only NHL teams, only MLB, only teams that I know. No Sky Carp allowed. That's a load of Sky Carp. Trenton Titans. No, that's too obscure. There, Bob. It's so obscure, and I don't know. There's, for all I know, some of these other people's like that number 81 Swamp. Like I don't know, the 81. There could be a team called the Swamps. Swamp. I guess it's Swamp Motorsports. That's not it. But I don't know. There could be other teams in the field here tonight represented. I just don't know what they are.
The Swamp, we're assuming he's a Florida Gators fan. Not the same colors, but guess what? We're going with it.
We're going with it. We're going with it. Meanwhile, up at the front of the field, Bronson Stafford having to work his way through some lap traffic here as Chuck Sweeting in the number 71 is going to push our race leaders to the top of the racetrack. We're down to just 12 laps to go. It's been pretty much single file for our race leaders, kind of scared at this point to kind of duck out and make a move. But that will put Chuck Sweeting, the first car, one lap down. Also falling a lap down there is Robert Tripp and the number 74 machine of Jake Bustos. Bridesmaid Bustos. We kind of expected to see Bustos up there. Not exactly sure what happened to Bustos. Not sure if it was just an inopportune pit stop. No one came down with him and he lost the draft that way, or what exactly happened to the number 74. But he's going to have to get a caution or two to get himself back up in the mix. And lap count is winding down. 11 laps to go in race number 11 so far this season. Bronson Stafford looking for another Super Speedway victory. Garrett, that would just be super impressive if Bronson Stafford was able to sweep the Super Speedway races. But here comes the other Canadian, Mike Floppy Tellier on the high side.
Yeah, not many guys better in this field at restrictor plate racing than Floppy. So many things I've learned from Mike over the years at these tracks. Mike is awesome at pushing. He's awesome at leading. He's just flat out the Canadian Dale Earnhardt. And we say that, and we don't mean it as a dig towards Dale Earnhardt. We mean that that's how talented this guy is when it comes to these restrictor plate tracks. And Mike, a lot of time, puts his ego aside. He runs second to his teammates. He does the colleague racing type thing, trophy hunting, let me help one of my teammates. But Mike knows he's good enough to win this race. He's put himself in position to win this race, and it's going to be really hard to pass him. And if anybody could pass Bronson, it's certainly Mike. And, well, Peter, any of these guys, let's just call it as is. This top six, you never know. And it's a little too early, I think, for these guys to make their move, but I like seeing that 47 run as well as he is. But where's his Nashville Predators scheme? Mike, you let us down, brother.
Yeah, I have to say, I was out of the whole field. The thing I was expecting to see here tonight was Mike Tellier in a Nashville Preds scheme. And it didn't happen. Left me scratching my head. Instead, we got a bunch of Skycar. So, just shrug. Maybe we'll do this again next season. Love to see this again next season. And maybe we'll get some people to shuffle the teams that they support. Maybe that'll be our rule. You can't do the same team you did last season. But for right now, Tellier once again coming back on that high side with a push from the lapped car. Robert Kenny in the drumstick machine. Robert finds himself right now in the lucky dog position, so that's what he's fighting for. He wants to stay in front of Brandon Buchwald right behind him, who is the second car one lap down, because if caution flag were to come out, we will get a lucky dog, and one of those drivers will get back onto the lead lap. So that's what they're fighting for, and of course we could always have a green-white checker. Gee, we haven't had any so far this season, to my recollection, unless we had one at Rockingham. I wasn't there for the end of that race because, like I said, I spun the number 61 machine. I didn't have any damage. I just was like, you know what? I don't want to wreck someone. That's not fun. And I was running, I think at that point, down in 9th or something like that. I burned up my tires too much there at Rockingham. I didn't get a whole lot of practice. I did a lot of wrecking in practice. I didn't do a lot of actual practicing in practice at Rockingham. These cars are not easy to drive, especially at Rockingham. They were pretty slick. There has been an accident out on the racetrack. Has not brought out the caution flag, but Jason Gracias has had a moment. Let's see what happened here to Jason. He's mowing the grass. He's doing some of that Schue lawn care service right there in the infield. Let's see if he had any help or anything, Garrett, because that seems a little bit odd for him to be mowing the grass. As we get a look here, Bob got a bump out of the corner, then the 90 got a bump, and then the 81 gave a bump to the number 1, and Gracias just went there through the grass, and well, Jason's not going to have a great night here tonight. He's in 14th. Good news for Jason is he's still in the lead lap, but he is now the last car on the lead lap, and the leaders will be on him in a hurry because there is the pack. That is the difference between Gracias and Bronson Stafford, who is pulling this train. 7 will make that 6 laps to go this time as they go across the start-finish line.
Wow, this race has absolutely flown by, Peter, and what a tough break for Jason Gracias. Definitely somebody I expected to be in contention tonight, and that's just a horrible break when things weren't going his way to begin with. But here comes a run on the top. Floppy looking to take the point. These guys are about even line-wise, so maybe one one more car in the bottom groove. But we always talk about bottom groove, shortest way around the track. Top groove, you keep the most momentum, but take the longest way around the track. And you can see it. Mike will pull ahead down the straightaway, and then Bronson will get him in the corners because it's a shorter distance. It's just racing 101, and that's why guys could win from anywhere on this track pretty much, Peter, and they certainly do. But top lane breaking up a little bit as they go by the lap car of Jason Gracias, but plenty of time for another run here, coming to 5 to go.
5 more laps to go here at Talladega Superspeedway. You can see the inside groove really starting to bunch up. Again, that outside line starts to be strong right there at the end of the straightaway. Here comes Brandon Bookwell trying to make it 3 wide. We saw a lot of 3 wide earlier in the race here on 3 wide TV, but not a lot of 3 wide since the end of stage number 1 on lap number 15. But if you're just now joining us, no caution flags here tonight at all. It has been clean and green, and that is something you don't often see on a oval and a super speedway at that. So Will Ratcliffe joined us in the chat saying a little late, but howdy. Will, hope you're having a good night here on 3 Wide TV. And Nicholas Marple is all saying howdy. Hopefully you're having a good night here too. We thank you for tuning on in as the lap count continues to click on by. 4 laps to go here at Talladega Superspeedway. And Johnny Williams, Johnny, trying to stay out of the way. Almost causing the big accident there in the NWO machine. Almost, I think, Garrett, you had mentioned something about the steel chair. He almost picked up that steel chair and walloped the side of, I think that was Mike Tellier he almost got into, or maybe the number 34 machine there of Robert Kenny. But wow, that was almost a big moment here at the front of the field as we're down to 3 laps to go this time by.
Yeah, Johnny's TNR career almost ended in front of our very eyes with taking on the administrator race for the race lead. I don't think we'd be seeing Johnny too much longer here at TNR, but I'm also happy to see Johnny able to run a full race, not the night he set out for, but he's out there, and he almost gave us some extra excitement that was completely unnecessary, but he's going to be able to finish this thing, which is pretty good. But side-by-side battle, now Chuck Sweeting, who is on the very tail end of the lead lap here, is being pushed out front by the 47 of Mike Tellier, and Chuck is Mike's best friend. Mike's probably thinking, I'm going to push Chuck, which isn't actually to a win, but I'm going to be able to use Chuck here to my advantage. Maybe I could get more speed by pushing this very fast, very talented race car driver who can hold a straight wheel as we're getting ready to come to 2 to go. 2
laps to go. Bronson Stafford still looking strong in the number 61 machine. Oh, look at this. Tellier's going to try and jump to the middle and push old Chuck Sweeten all the way back to the back of the field, or back of this train. It isn't all leaders. In fact, there's only 6 cars in our lead group here. The rest are lap cars, as Matt Moyer currently in 6th. Make that now 5th as he tries to get around. Philip Scott is the last lead lap car in this group. He's going to try and use that high lane. We saw that high lane so strong early on, Garrett, but it just doesn't seem like anyone's willing to go to that top side, as we'll have the white flag in the air this time for Bronson Stafford, Mike Floppy Tellier. They continue to try and push their way up to the front. Matt Moyer stalling out there on the high line as Bustos almost getting into the side of 77. White flag in the air. We have made it caution-free at Talladega. Holy smokes. 1 lap to decide it, 2.66 miles, G.
Wow, Peter, what an incredible race, and it's not over yet. I expect some cars to be wadded up at the end of this thing. We're going to see if this 47 gets a good run here on the top side, getting pushed by the 34 of Robert Kenny. Bottom lane staying together pretty good, but will somebody jump up? Here comes the middle groove, Peter. These guys are going to be 3 wide. Let's see what happens.
Coming around turn number 3 and 4 for the final time here tonight. It is going to be bumping and shoving coming here to the start-finish line. A lot of races at Talladega have been decided between this point and the start-finish line, as the 34 doing all he can to the back bumper of the 47. There's contact back behind. Who's going to be at the line? I think it was... Who was it?
Mike?
Bronson Stafford almost got turned into the inside wall, and we're going to have to take that one to the 3-wide TV replay, because that one was too close to call here at Talladega. let's go figure out who won here tonight.
Check the mail-in ballots from Philadelphia, Peter. We got to see this again.
There they are coming to the line. We have the start-finish line cam. I have a photo finish cam here.
I think Mike won, Peter. Let's see this.
Let's see this. Here's a photo finish cam coming to the line. They're going to come into picture right there. I think Tellier's nose is ahead. I think Mike's going to victory lane here at Dega. Bronson Stafford coming up just that much short of sweeping the Superspeedway races this season. Bill Edwards in his Sky Kart machine going to come across the line in second, but it is a Canadian 1-2 here at Talladega.
Peter, this 3Y TV, Total Nonstop Racing, Schue Lawn Care series here. You can't beat it. Come join us. Join us on 3Y TV. Join us in this league. Have this amount of fun, brotherhood, clean racing. You just watched 55 laps at Talladega go as smooth as they could probably go, minus some pit road stuff, but I mean that was just driver error. But man, this is free excitement on a Monday night, Peter. Can't beat it. These guys are celebrating together. That's how close these guys are as league mates and teammates, and there's always one flying in there. I think it was Matt Rod. So that's pretty good stuff there. But congratulations to everyone. This was a tremendous race, and I'm kind of honored to broadcast it. But
yeah, I mean, it's going to be fun to talk to our top three finishers here tonight. Tellier, Stafford, and Edwards as well. Get their take on what all went down out there on the racetrack. Green flag here on a superspeedway is just something you don't see. You don't see that very often at all, and all three of those drivers were in the same channel as well for that finish. So they were all buddies. That's for certain. All celebrating together as Tellier continues to burn it down here on the front stretch. He's gonna burn that thing down until it's got until that engine blows.
He deserves this, Peter. A lot of this, like I said, a lot of these races he ends up finishing second, so this has to feel really good. And he hates doing interviews, but I think we're gonna feel a little sense of relief out of that driver of the 47.
Yeah, he's smoking like a nice hot cup of Tim Hortons coffee here on the front stretch. Still burning it down. Is that engine ever gonna grenade, Garrett? I think that engine's fake. I think that it's not legal.
Oh, like Bill's sponsor.
Just like his SkyCarp sponsor. That's right. And speaking of SkyCarp, coming in right there at the end, the Goose. Maybe that's what we have to call him from now on, the Goose. Bill Edwards, the old Goose.
That's what I call my dog Lucy as her nickname, so I don't want to ruin that by calling Bill Edwards that, if that's okay.
I think so. I think, yeah. We'll put that one to bed. Will Ratcliffe in the chat saying that was a Cars finish right there from the Cars movie, as Bill Edwards is getting some extracurriculars here on the front stretch. The flagman there getting a good view of Bill Edwards, getting a good view of Mike's rear end.
Yeah, this is like the first Talladega race in a while, but that we did not have a 69 at any point throughout the broadcast.
Well, I gotta say right now, this is probably the closest thing we're gonna get to that. But the flagman right there shaking his head, Garrett. He is shaking his head.
He doesn't get paid enough to watch what's going on there, but
yeah, I would agree. Let's see if we can bring up Bill Edwards. He's we'll find out what he's doing out there on the racetrack right now. But Bill Edwards, Peter Short 3Y TV booth. You got a copy?
How you doing?
We're doing pretty good. Looks like you are tucked up underneath Mike Floppy Tellier's rear end right now. We're wondering how that is.
It's it's shady under here.
It's shady. Well, that's I guess that's what some of them say. But a good race for you in the Sky Kart machine. We figured out it's baseball. We've also figured out, just figured out, it's the inaugural season of the High A Miami Marlins affiliate. Tell us about your ride here tonight, and tell us about your race.
Oh, it was wild. These cars are crazy to drive on this super speedway. Everything's super sketchy. If you try to push or bump, you just lift the back end up. I was really trying hard to manage my temperatures because I think I overheated like 3-4 times in that race. But it was fun. It was a blast. We had a good team effort, and well, those guys had a good team effort, but I tagged along. We had near perfect pit stops, and was able to get out and get top 3 out of us.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3. Saw you were all together and all having a good time, and it looked like a lot of fun out there on the racetrack. I mean, green flag at Talladega, that doesn't happen very often.
No, big shout out to all these guys for being able to pull that off, because these I don't know how it looked on TV, but it was not easy. These things want to wreck a lot at super speedways.
Well, you guys definitely made it look easy here tonight, as I'm sure you will next week at Kansas. What are your thoughts about that 1.5-mile racetrack?
Ooh, I haven't even thought about it yet. I'm still working through what just happened. I know I spun Bronson out coming to the finish there. I think in the backstretch he's like, give me a push or whatever, and I was like, well, we're close enough now where I think I can stay in it, and I just stayed in it and took him right around. I think otherwise he would have had it.
Well, we'll give you a week to process that whole scenario before Kansas. But before we let you go, Bill, you got any shout-outs for us?
Yeah, I got to give a shout-out to Mike Bronson, all these guys here let me tag along with them. Give a shout-out to TNR for putting this on every week. It's an absolute blast. Got to say hi to my mom. Got to shout out 3Y TV. Love watching your broadcasts. Schue's Lawn Service for sponsoring the season. And I think that's about it.
All right. Well, Bill, congratulations on finishing third here tonight and bringing out the Sky Kart machine. Definitely threw us for a loop up here in the 3Y TV booth. But it was a lot of fun. I think you'll go back and enjoy watching the broadcast. But good luck again next week, bud.
All right. Take it easy.
All right, that's going to do it for tonight's third place finisher, Bill Edwards. We'll let him go figure out exactly what all went down here tonight. Let's go see if we can check out Bronson Stafford as he, just let Mike Tellier drop from Sky.
Hey, Bronson, scared up in the booth. I got to say, I'm a little bit disappointed. We went to a super speedway and you didn't win, but you certainly couldn't have come much closer.
I'm a little disappointed I didn't win. I had it won.
Yeah, give us your thoughts there. Coming to the checker, it looks like you got a little bit of help. Turn sideways there.
Yeah. I don't know. We were racing for it hard. Just how the cars are with the pushes. It was fun. Regardless, Mike won, so still team car. A little disappointed because I think I led like 50 laps of the entire race or something crazy. So it sucks a little bit to lose because having to cover 200 more feet than everyone else. But no, it was fun. It was a fun race tonight. I'm glad it was a good result. The entire team did really, really good. So I'm happy. It was fun.
Yeah, these places, Talladega, it's all about that team mentality, and you guys seem to do that as good, if not better, than everyone out there. Did you guys let Mike win? You could tell me. Like, I won't tell anybody else.
No, Mike, not at all. Bill pushed me, and it turned me sideways, and Bill instantly was like, "Oh, I thought you still would have had it," kind of thing. Like, it was just, we were pushing so hard, but no, Mike was in the perfect place to capitalize on it.
Yeah, Mike certainly deserves it too.
Mike wins are good. Those are good wins.
Mike wins are make my heart feel full type wins, but headed to, I believe, and I'm the guy that made the schedule, so if I'm wrong, then so be it. I believe we're headed to the regular season finale next week at Kansas. How do you feel about going to Kansas and your chances there winning a race?
I usually like Kansas. It's a 1.5 miles. We were really fast at Chicagoland, played the strategy a little wrong. So it's kind of different. It's probably closer to like a Vegas type track, which I don't think we went to, sadly. Such a good track. So I don't know. Kansas will be interesting. I don't know if it's still Highline or not. I have no idea, but it'll be fun. These cars have been solid all season long, besides like one track, and it's just because of how it is. Sometimes it works out, but no, it'll be fun.
Yeah, I'm completely wrong. We have two more races. We have Kansas, and we have Milwaukee, but we're not going to talk about me being wrong. I was right 3 times tonight, and that's it. So Congratulations on second place tonight. Come up a little bit short, but before we let you go, if you'd like to give a shout out to your fans, fans, friends, and sponsors, please go ahead.
Oh yeah, the whole Sky Motorsports team, we did crazy good tonight. We all literally finished right there in like the top 6 cars. Kenny was a lap down. Unfortunately, he sped on pit entry, but he waited on pit road till we were coming around to just merge back in, so we still had the team strength in numbers kind of thing. Obviously all the sponsors that happen, and obviously Garrett, you putting this on and broadcast with everything going on, and it's fun. I think this was a really solid race after to have a broadcast back on for and whatnot. Caution free at Dega, can't really go wrong. We had a good sized field and everything, so just honestly, thanks for having a good place to race on Mondays.
Well, certainly thanks for being here. Your whole team, you guys make this league better, and we appreciate having you. So go enjoy your second place, and we'll talk to this goofy Canadian you-know-what in Victory Lane.
All right, thanks.
Well, Peter, I guess I don't get to join Mike in Victory Lanes, but why ruin it with my negativity and bad attitude after the beating the Giants took? But take it away, bud.
Yeah, I'm down in Victory Lane, Garrett. I'm very glad that you took Bronson Stafford's interview there, because I'm not sure if he's forgiven me after what happened at Rockingham a couple of weeks ago. But Mike Tellier, Victory Lane, holy smokes, what a finish to that race here tonight. I think if you asked me whether or not we would have 23 cars at Talladega and go caution-free for 55 laps, I would have said, oh yeah, absolutely. But we did here tonight, and a wild finish to this one, with the 61 sideways across the line, and you just getting about a fender in front. Tell us about it.
I don't even know where to begin, Peter. I love this league. I love the guys racing in this league. Like, legitimately, you wouldn't expect a caution-free race with stages here at Talladega. Like, you would have thought coming to stage 1 near the end, we were 3 wide. You would have thought anything would happen. Stage 2, we, guys kind of pit early, but we were still racing hard at the front. You would have thought anything would have happened. But no, everyone held their line, kept their composure. Great fucking racing. I apologize for my French, but everyone who raced tonight, awesome job. If you're watching this, amazing racing. I know I'm in Victory Lane, but you guys deserve the trophy as much as me. Like, great friggin' racing.
Yeah, we're giving out trophies now?
He deserves one after that, and who would have thought that he'd be the first person to drop the F-bomb on three-way TV and not me? So congratulations, Mike.
Hey, I'm setting records and getting penalties you can take my 25 points. Like, I will pull a Dale Earnhardt Jr. and willingly take this 25-point penalty. Like, honestly, I'm amazed. Like, I was content running second. Like, I know Bill barely touched Bronson, and he went to the left a little more than he wanted, but like, I was content running second, and it still would have been like a great race. Like, literally top 2 or 3 TNR race ever. Like, legit, that was amazing. I don't know what else to say. Like, yeah, I'm here celebrating, but honestly, everyone should be celebrating. Garrett, you too, man. This is your league. You need to celebrate with us. I know you weren't out there turning laps, but yeah, like there was an incident with Johnny Williams. I guess he bounced off the wall and almost took everyone else, or took us all out. But like I said, everyone kept their composure, gave room when it was needed, and we kept going straight. There was a spin on the front stretch or something, apparently. I'm sorry there wasn't a caution. But guys, great job tonight. Seriously.
Yeah, we caught the bits and pieces of the action here tonight. There weren't a whole lot of the spinning variety, except for your burnout there at the end, which seemed like it would never end. I'm not sure if the engine is legal in the number 47 tonight with how many burnouts you were able to get out of it. But nonetheless, a great race here. Next race we go to is the regular season finale at Kansas, mile-and-a-half racetrack, a Highline type of racetrack. What are your thoughts about going to Kansas?
Honestly, I don't know. It's going to be a great race. I have a feeling that everywhere we go, it's going to be a great race, whether or not I end up with a good finish or not. The guys racing here at TNR, they put on a great race, so I feel it'll be good. Everyone adapts and races what we got. So I feel like no matter where we turn left and go fast, even if there is some right-hand turns coming up at Watkins Glen, I think everyone here is going to put on a good show, and And yeah, it's great racing all around. That's what I expect every week. It's amazing racing here. I love it.
Yeah, great race, as always, here on 3 Wide TV. Mike, before we let you go, any shout-outs you'd like to give out? Besides the fact that you've already given everyone in the whole field a shout-out more than once.
Yeah, honestly, my team, Sky Motorsports, we wouldn't have been there at the finish without them. Like, literally all 5 of us were there. Even Kenny, who missed the breaking point getting onto pit road. Like, Sky Motorsports, great team effort. All 5 of us were there at the end. Even Bill, he's a member this week racing with us. So I guess there's 6 of us. I said 5. Apologize. But yeah, Sky Motorsports, and like I said, once again, everyone racing tonight. It was amazing. It was great. Appreciate it, guys.
Absolutely.
Oh, and sorry, Peter. Sorry, Peter. I forgot you. I don't want to interrupt. 3 Wide TV for broadcasting as well. Garrett for running this stuff. And like I said, it was great. Thanks.
If you would have said anything else, Mike, I would have kicked you out of the channel. No, I'm just kidding. Congratulations on your win, and I'm sure we'll be talking to you again here on the channel.
Yeah, hopefully soon. Once again, thanks, Peter.
All right, well, we'll let Mike go and celebrate his dub here tonight at Talladega Superspeedway. But a great race for him and a great race for the whole field. I have to say, Mike hit the nail on the head with what he had to say, and it was a lot of fun broadcasting as well. Garrett, why don't you take us through tonight's final race results?
Final race results, and nobody's complaining. Nobody wants like us to go back through the tape and say they might have won. Mike Floppy Tellier in the 47 comes home victory lane here at Talladega. Bronson Stafford, his teammate, fellow Canadian, finishes second. Bill Edwards, the bump gone wrong there towards the end, comes home on the podium in third. Matthew Rodriguez, Philip Scott round out your top 5. Matt Muir in the 77 Houston Astros machine will finish 6th. Johnny Eckert comes home in 7th. Bobby Giaquinto in the number 23 will finish 8th. Jonathan Gaston in the 72 will finish 9th. And Jason Schue, nice top 10 for our series sponsor and good friend Jason Schue. Just those guys needed a break, needed a caution at the end. And Peter, I'm going to do the rest of this top 18. You've talked enough tonight. Jamar Dumas in 11th. Sean Billman in the 06 in 12th. Ryan Potter in the 98 and 13th. Robert Kenny helped his teammates there despite being a lap down, coming home in 14th. A little bit of props there. Gracias had that spin, rounds out our top 15. Brandon Bookwald in the 96 in 16th. Robert Tripp 17th. Chuck Sweeting, not the night we expect off of a win for Chuck Sweeting, but these restrictor plate races that his talent just really doesn't just translate to victories. You need some help and some luck here. Jake Bustos in 19th. DJ Weeks rounds out your top 20. Ty Smith, Jason Freeman, Johnny Williams, and Tom Bourne did not roll off tonight, but those 3 guys before him had a little bit of incidents out there. But Peter, tremendous race, and I always say it, this is our league. This is my league, your league, Floppy's league, Gracias, all the guys that have been here forever, and these new guys, Bill, that have stepped up, make this league better, Philip Scott. Thank you, everyone. This was awesome. Share this broadcast, minus the part where Mike curses at the end, and spread the word. We need a couple more good racers, maybe another team here, and we're going to get this thing back rolling again, and we're going to be a force in this iRacing community. But thank you, everyone.
Yeah, another great race here tonight, Talladega. I'm expecting another one next week at the Kansas Speedway. Same place, same time here on 3Y TV. But for myself, Peter Short, Choose Lawn Care Service, Talking Giants, Stay Tuned Sports, and everyone else, Danae Jewelers, big shout out to them. One of our series sponsors here this year in the Total Nonstop Racing League. But until we meet again, folks, stay safe and all that good stuff, and we shall see ya!